Go to the judges' scorecards. We begin round number one. Hasim Rahman, The Rock, 23 years of age, out of Baltimore, Maryland, in the white trunks, and Martin Foster, all 250 pounds, from Wichita, Kansas, in the black trunks.
Rahman comes in here. Recently he had what for him was his best win as a pro, a win in 10 over Ross Purity, who's a pretty good journeyman heavyweight, who's had some good wins of his own. We saw him here on ESPN perform very well against Tommy Morrison a couple of years ago.
The management of Rahman has been in the newspapers, of course, with the success of Oscar De La Hoya. You hear the names Steve Nelson and Robert Middleman. They were involved in De La Hoya early in his career, and they are handling the managerial affairs of Rahman.
And of course, we mentioned already Jenks Morton, who's a terrific trainer. Formerly worked with Sugar Ray Leonard and many other good boxers. And Foster, who, as you said, came here today, does not look like he has been extremely active in the gym. How can I euphemistically put that?
Well, his plane was not scheduled to arrive until this afternoon from Kansas. He is truly a heavyweight.
Showing some combinations at The Rock, but not quite getting him home.
Rahman says he'd like to work off the jab, and once he does that, everything falls into place. But Foster railing away with some of the body shots here in round one.
Well, one thing about Martin Foster, he didn't come here to not punch, did he? Even though he took this fight on short notice, he's in there winging away against Rahman.
And some swelling above the left eye of Foster here in round one. 1 minute to go in the round.
Good right hand by Rahman, and that one I think got Martin Foster's attention. Well, you mentioned the jab, how important it is, and Rahman using that punch very effectively here in round one.
Rahman letting his hands go, and he's able to score. Is he a little wide with his punches, though, Al?
A smidge, maybe, but part of that is also, I think he's trying to get it around the defense of Foster.
Final 23 seconds of round one. Scheduled for 8, Hasim Rahman out of Baltimore, Maryland, and Martin Foster of Wichita, Kansas. Rahman in the white, The Rock. Foster in the black trunks. These are heavyweights. And Foster scoring with some punches, and Rahman answers as we come to the end of round number one. We start round number two from the Fernwood Resort and Country Club. Hasim Rahman in the white trunks out of Baltimore, Maryland, 15-0 with 13 knockouts against Martin Foster out of Wichita, Kansas, 250 pounds. Took this fight on very short notice. Arrived here in Bushkill, Pennsylvania just today. And Al, let's take a look at the numbers in round one.
An indication that Rahman was throwing and landing well, but the interesting thing about Foster, though, he threw so many fewer punches, landing at 48%, and they won't like that when they look at the tapes. I'm sure Rahman and his people will say to themselves, we should have done a better defensive job there.
He did a good job late in the round, did Rahman, Foster, to score. And now Rahman again unloading with the right hand and digging for the body of Foster. And there's a right hand that hurt, and down goes Foster. A shot to the temple hurt him, and I don't think Martin Foster's getting up. Referee Joe Salci has signaled the end of it. Looked like a shot to the temple, and Martin Foster has been knocked out quickly by Hasim Rahman.
Rahman started off all that with some excellent body work, and that was really what started the problems for Foster, and then he landed that big left hook.
And right now they are still tending to Martin Foster. Coming up, we'll have another heavyweight bout, Oleg Maskev and Mike Robinson. But right now, Foster is still down, and that's what we need to concentrate on. They have not moved him up yet. You get a look at his eyes there. They'll try to get him up in stages, Al. Now he says he's fine.
He got hit with a very big left hook, and one of them was to the temple, I believe, area that you mentioned. And that's what created the problems for him. That was the one that got his equilibrium, and as he was going down, was hit with another right hand. And there's the danger area for boxers when they're already hurt, and he's really out here. But it was not inappropriate. Well, right after this is where the big left hook comes. And you'll notice he's almost out as he's falling, and you really can't quarrel with the right hand that was thrown.